Hello, hello, test, test. I think everything works well. I'm not sure if it works on the vertical. We shall Hello, hello, see. Test, test. I think everything works well. Yes, it works on both. God damn right. I'm not sure if it works on the vertical.
So yeah, I'm kind of streaming.
Hello, hello, test, test. I think
online, like normal landscape one and normal uh,
vertical one for YouTube Shorts. I hope it works like that. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm more like a monkey pressing buttons. But I really liked last time stream. Yesterday was a bit of a failed stream. I tried to set this up and completely bombed. It was terrible, so I decided to do it today after doing some research. I think I got the hang of it. Probably I'll be streaming to more places afterwards. We'll see how that goes. But today I actually have a very, very good idea of what I want to work on. What I want to show, which is a couple of things. The first thing is for the communication side of things. There's this article that I read, and I've been reading for quite some time, and I absolutely love everything about that article. It's super nice, and the idea that is in it is so profound, and it's so important for actually communication that I want to just read it and share my thoughts about it with you here. The other side is a little bit more business focused, and this is where I'm a little bit experimental. I mean, the whole thing is an experiment, where I want to just work. You know, right now I'm running an ad campaign for my business, and it's going through some hiccups, and I want to make some changes. I want to explain those changes. What do I think about them? And it's a way for me to kind of think about it, think about how I'm doing this and how I can, to think about it in a better way and to share and maybe look back on it, hopefully in a few years when I'm like, oh my god, freaking successful. That would be pretty nice. So I don't know which one to start with first. The article. Oh, someone said hi. Hi, Azo. How's it going, man? I don't know if you. I don't know how this thing works, but I need to keep an eye on this chat thing. So if someone like Azo says hi, I can say hi right away. But yeah, Azo, I don't know if you heard what I said, but I'm doing a couple of things in this stream. The first one, I'm doing a little bit of business stuff. And the second one, I'm gonna read an article that has a very profound idea that I think relates a lot to communication. So, actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with the article just to get the ball rolling, and then I'll do the other one. What? Yeah, I don't speak I mean, I do speak Turkish. I live in Turkey, but I do mostly English. But I understand what you're saying. It's mostly bir şey var ben sana bir şey var ben sana. What? What the fuck does that mean, man? What do you mean? Do you speak English? But anyway, let's keep going with the article. So I learned this Ben de seni çok öpüyorum seni çok seviyorum seni. I think this is a bot. I think I got my first bot here. Is he saying he loves me in Turkish? I don't know. I don't know this person. But hey, man, bot it is, I guess. You know, beggars can be choosers, I guess. So let's get to it with both the live one on mobile, the short one, and the big one. I think you can see, I hope you can see my screen properly. Let's get to it. So this is the article. It's a very, very phenomenal article by this guy called Alan Watts. Now, for those who do not know Alan Watts, he is like a genius guy who gets a lot of hate for being a genius. You know, in my view, he's a philosopher who sacrificed everything to kind of learn more about spirituality and different ways of thinking and philosophy and blah blah blah. All things I'm, by the way, extremely interested in. And this is an article written by a guy based on his book, and the book is titled "The Wisdom of Insecurity: A Message for an Age of Anxiety." Now let's dive into this book. While we're reading this, I'll talk more about like what. Oh damn, forgot to do this in the desktop one. Yes, we'll talk more about the person, his ideas, and what I think about them. So let's get cracking. Let me just zoom in a little bit. All right. When we compare human with animal desire, writes philosopher Alan Watts in The Wisdom of Insecurity, a message for an age. If you knew how you were going to die, how would you live your life differently? Ooh, that's a goddamn good question. I mean, I think we already know that. You know, but I think you're talking about like if I knew that I'm gonna die soon, right? Like it's imminent, it's coming close. Zinurien Majid, I just call him Majid. Hi, Majid. First of all, honestly, man, I would do the same thing that I'm doing right now. You know, like try to do something big, try to do something more interesting and difficult. I find doing something difficult to be fun. Yeah, sure, man. I would humor you. I mean, so basically, I had that kind of thinking, and I decided that I would just go to the forest and chill in the forest, and that would be the thing that I wanted to do until if I realized that I was dying, and it was during COVID, so I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, why not? Let me just go and stay in the forest. It was already lockdowns, and I couldn't go anywhere, so I just went to the forest and I stayed there for months, you know, with a friend. I would come back to the city to restock, get some food, but then boom, I would go right back. And I thought it was gonna be like eternal bliss, you know, I was gonna be super happy for a very long time. Did not work. I got bored. I'm like, it's so easy, you know, you just wake up, think about food, think about cooking, go to the waterfall, enjoy the scenery. And actually, I can show you the place where I went. It's pretty dope. It's called Doan Chai. That was from Halo 4. It's a deep question for a game, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Actually, a lot of people give games like too little of credit because games are like any form of art are trying to be really deep. You know, they are trying to give these kinds of thought-provoking ideas, and people who are not into gaming, they're like, oh, this is just it's a video game, who gives a fuck, right? But I really do believe that it's a form of art like any other, and a lot of the philosophies that I have in my life that kind of run my life I got from video games. So you're absolutely right there. But let me show you this place, Don Chai. Amazing place, dude. It's this waterfall. It's really hard to get to. It's really difficult to get to. You have to climb stuff and jump through hoops to get to it. But once you're there, it's like a piece of heaven. It's amazing. And I was just there for months. And honestly, as I said, it was amazing, it was beautiful, but it kind of got boring. So I'm like, I want to do something hard. So to answer your question, let's go. Hello, Falchi? Let's call it Falchi. Hey, man. So yeah, just to answer your question, I actually just would do what I'm doing right now. To do something hard that is fun and enjoyable, I think would be the way to go for me. So yeah, there's just a bunch of people there. Amazing place. Hamza, bro. Wait, do I know you like from? Tell me from where? Because I know a couple of Hamzas, so I'm not sure Who? Yo, my first ever soundtrack. God damn, dude. Okay, I remember the Hamza. Yeah, yeah, OG. Yeah, welcome to the OG, dude. God damn, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. God damn, man. OG. Oh, Majid says the stupidest creature in the world is the fish. This is proven by research, but how stupid is the fisherman who cannot catch the fish? Dude, it's philosophical over here. I mean, what would you say? I would love actually to hear your question, your answer to this. And why do you say that? What do you mean by that? But uh but yeah, Hamza man, it's been a minute, dude. Are you by the way, are you still uh out of Turkey? No, I don't know. I don't want to say where you are. I think you're in Canada, if I remember correctly. Right? If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, good seeing you, dude. Good seeing you. But yeah, let me get back to this while you guys answer. So what I'm doing right now is you are the one asking the question. Yeah, freaking Canada. All right, so I will answer the question, but first I want you to uh answer it afterwards. Um Hamza, all love, man. All love. Good that you stopped by, man. Good that you stopped by. Good to see you, man. It's been a minute. Now about the question. The civilization on Earth, proven by research. I wouldn't say the fisherman is stupid. To be very frank, I wouldn't say they're stupid. I would say they are more. Um, fish is not dumb in the sense of like, oh, they're smart or dumb like logically. I would say they're dumb that they cannot think. You know, but when it comes to their instinct, I think they have pretty good instincts. So the fisherman has to fight. Turkish? Oh shit. Dude, I can't speak. I mean, I can speak Turkish. I've been living in Turkey for a minute, but I can't really speak it like English. I speak English much better. But for Majid, the thing man is like, yeah, the fisherman is fighting instinct, not intellect. With intellect, of course, you win, but if you're fighting instinct, it's GG. And by the way, Squid Kenna, first of all, welcome. Hello. Um, why do you want me to speak Turkish? Do you speak English or you only speak Turkish? You don't know English. Oh boy. I think fishermen better find better peace. Oh, dude, you're still here? I thought you left. Welcome, welcome. Um, what the hell? Man, I need to get my work thing better to understand how this platform works. But yeah, the fisherman does find peace better, I guess. Fighting fish, not humans. But yeah, where was I? I want to get back to what I was doing. So what I was doing originally, dude, is I was reading this article. This is a phenomenal, fantastic article about why modern civilization is a vicious circle. And this is one of those articles to me that I find to be unbelievably interesting simply because of this. And this is what I'm going to read it right now. This is, again, a part of the book, The Wisdom of Insecurity, A Message for an Age of Anxiety. And this part kind of compares humans to animals in instincts and how they kind of operate. And there it is. The animal tends to eat with his stomach, and the man with his brain. When the animal's stomach is full, he stops eating. But the man is never sure when to stop. Where was I? Yeah. When he has eaten as much as his belly can take, he feels empty. Here, by the way, let me highlight it so people can read with me. I think that would be better. Yeah. When the animal's stomach is full, he stops eating, but the man is never sure when to stop. When he has eaten as much as his belly can take, he still feels empty. Talking about humans here. He still feels an urge for further gratification. This is largely due to anxiety, to the knowledge that a constant supply of food is uncertain. Basically, what he's saying here is that we know that good things don't last, and we're worried about it. We're like, oh my god, some things are here and they're good, but the future is coming, and this good thing that I have right now might not exist in the future. And that fear is what he calls anxiety. Therefore, eat as much as you can while you can. Because today you have food, so you better stuff yourself because, winter is coming and you have to kind of prepare yourself for winter while you can. It is due also to the knowledge that in an insecure world, pleasure is uncertain. Therefore, the immediate pleasure of eating must be exploited to the full, even though it does violence to the digestion. So basically, what he's saying is that even though we are super hungry for things because we're worried about the future, we consume more than our body can handle, and we end up actually hurting ourselves because of that fear, because we are consuming too much, we're eating too much. Human desire tends to be insatiable. We are so anxious for pleasure that we can never get enough of it. Which, by the way, social media is the biggest example of this. And by the way, at the end of this article, there's like this mind-blowing fact about Alan Watts, the guy who's writing this. This is from his book. I think that it will change how you see this article in its totality. So, we stimulate our sense organs until they become insensitive, so that if pleasure is to continue, they must have stronger and stronger stimulants. In self-defense, the body gets ill from the strain, but the body wants to go on and on. The brain is in pursuit of happiness. And because the brain is much more concerned about the future than the present, it thinks or it conceives happiness as the guarantee of an indefinitely long future of pleasures. This one is huge. I need to spend a couple of minutes talking about it because it's super, super important. That we want things. We have this endless desire that the thing that you have right now is the thing that you wanted maybe a year ago, but still you feel like today you want something different. Satisfaction doesn't last. It's very temporary. You feel good about something and then you're like, more. And you were never in that satisfied state for too long. You feel satisfied and then instantly you move on to the next thing. That's why he says it's insatiable. So we are anxious for pleasure. We want more and more. And that constant stimulation, whether with social media, with food, with coffee, with cigarettes, with whatever, creates resistance. Our body fights it. We don't want to be in this state of hunger. We want to be satisfied. We want to be relaxed. But there is this thing that fights these urges or these stimulants where we end up feeling less and less. For example, with smoking, you smoke a cigarette, and after smoking it for like 5, 6, 7 times, 5, 6, 7 months, you feel it way less. It becomes just a thing you do. It doesn't feel good anymore. Now you need to smoke 2 cigarettes to feel the hit. So that's how you end up with chain smokers. And that's the body is trying to fight this stimulant. And the body, in self-defense, it's fighting this kind of urge, or it's fighting this smoking. It kind of gets ill. It fights it. It tries to push it away. And this is here what he's saying, that we justify this thing in our mind by saying we want to be happy, right? We want to do things that make us happy, but our brain is thinking about happiness, or our definition of happiness is completely messed up. We think about it in terms of, if for me to be happy, I need a guarantee that I will continue to get pleasure forever, just throughout time, indefinitely. The more pleasure I get, the happier I will be. And so, yeah, here he says it. I kind of skipped over it. Yet the brain also knows that it does not have an indefinitely long future, so that to be happy, it must try to crowd all the pleasures of paradise and eternity into the span of a few years. This is, I think, very, very crucial in the sense that um, because we know that this guarantee is, at the end of the day, it's kind of endless. It's kind of, it has like a time bomb on it. It's like it's gonna end soon. The brain is like, okay, then I want not only a guarantee, but I want to cram as much pleasure into my life as possible, and that is what we see as happiness, which is completely messed up. It's completely false. And this is why modern civilization, in almost every respect, a vicious circle. Phenomenal. When I first read this, it blew my mind. I had to read it a couple of times to kind of understand it, or really get the gist of it, get the idea of what he means. But my God, amazing stuff. So he continues to say, the root of this frustration is that we live for the future. That yet the future. Why do I feel like the article is coming from a psychological, anthropological approach, or am I overinterpreting the words of the paper? But I really like the animal example approach. Yeah, man. So this philosopher, by the way, a very, very nice thing to notice, because the the guy who wrote this book, Alan Watts, is originally a philosopher who did study actually anthropology and psychology from a Western sense, and then he moved to the East to kind of learn what they think about these topics, about what is their view of philosophy, and he started contrasting their view of philosophy, because in his view, those people live, their culture is much more advanced, or much older. You know, like in India or in China, it's like 5, 10,000 year old culture. So he was really interested in seeing how they see these things, and this is kind of him mixing what he learned from them and what we know in like the Western kind of modern world in a way. And this is kind of the approach. But actually, you're absolutely right. It's it is based on these two things, and yeah, the animal example is insane. But listen to this. This will blow your mind. So to pursue the future is to pursue a constantly retreating phantom, and the faster you chase it, the faster it runs ahead. Yeah, it is pretty cool. This is why all affairs of civilization are rushed, why hardly anyone enjoys what he has, and is forever seeking more and more. Happiness, then, will consist not of solid and substantial realities, but of such abstract and superficial things as promises, hopes, and assurances. This to me is a mindfuck, that the pursuit of a good future is a pursuit of an illusion. You are chasing something that will always run away from you, which is the future. Whenever you catch the future, it's the present, and there is another future. So you're constantly running after this thing that you can never catch. And he's saying that this has become like a societal issue where everyone thinks like that. Everyone is, in a very real sense, chasing that. And we're kind of stuck. Like mind blowing stuff. Mind blowing stuff. Thus, the brainy economy designed to produce this happiness is a fantastic, vicious circle. which must either manufacture more and more pleasures or collapse, providing a constant titillation of the ears, eyes, and nerve ends, with incessant streams of almost inescapable noise and visual distractions. And this is, I think, I earlier I mentioned that I'm gonna say something that's really cool about this guy. This guy died in the 70s. He is, in a very real way, predicting what has happened today. That people are just chasing this more and more pleasure, that it's becoming more and more. This is how we are psychologically living now, and it's getting worse and worse. Exactly. As I told you, man, he died in the 70s. So the whole thing is just an insanely accurate prediction of the problem that society started having back then, 50 fucking years ago, and what is happening today. That we are actually continuing to exist in that system, but we're getting really good at creating these kind of titillations of the ears, eyes, and nerve ends. It's mind blowing how accurate it is. So now he actually talks about the solution, or what he thinks are the remedies for this kind of problem. Watts argues that one of the ills of modern society is that we believe sleep to be a waste of time, that life is short. Interestingly, we'd rather watch TV or YouTube or any kind of stream and chase our fantasies than simply rest. I resonate with that so much. I would literally rather do anything but sleep. I hate sleep. I feel like sleep is literally a waste of life. And he here kind of dogs on me for being like that. He says, animals spend much of their time dozing and idling pleasantly. But because life is short, human beings must cram into the years the highest possible amount of consciousness, alertness, and chronic insomnia, so as to be sure not to miss the last fragment of startling pleasure. That if I go to sleep, and if I am relaxed, and if I am avoiding my life, I'm missing out. There could be this amazing video or this amazing thing that will happen that I will miss because I am asleep. That the value of life comes from literal pleasure and literal stimulation. And it shows you how like deep this rot has gone, because right now it's 5:40 a.m. and I'm literally awake. I was playing video games, watching YouTube, and just like fucking around. And this guy's literally describing me because I'm the anti-sleep guy. So he goes on to say, our quest for never-ending stimulation comes with a high cost. We become, and this is such a reality, so true, incapable of real pleasure, insensitive to the most acute and subtle joys of life. The more common the pleasure, the less it interests us. We'd rather watch TV. And I think here the common pleasures that they're talking about are, in a way, how can I say, like food, taking a deep breath, watching the sun rise or sunset. Those things, looking at the moon, those things have become so meh that we want something more. We want something, like something that gets us going. It's more like a drug addiction. And this subtlety in pleasure only comes when there's silence around it. And this is, I think, something that a lot of us need to cultivate in our life. And then here he talks about how or why it's so important to cultivate it. So he says, generally speaking, the civilized man does not know what he wants. It's so true. He works for success, fame, a happy marriage, fun, to help other people, or to become a real person. That's me. Oh yeah, I am the last two. I want to help others and be a real person. But these are not real wants. These are not real desires because they are not actual things. They're not real. And this is, I know this is gonna, what the fuck? What do you mean? They are real. Check this out. They are the byproducts, the flavors and atmospheres of real things, shadows, which have no existence apart from some substance. Now, this, I understand, is pretty complicated idea, because for me, it took me a really long time to understand what the hell that means. And to explain it very, very simply, it basically means that, for example, help other people. The reason it's not a real thing, it's because it's an idea. For example, carrying your friend's furniture from one place to another. That's real. That's helping other people. But the goal of helping other people as an abstract goal is not a real thing. Because you're not helping anybody. You're not doing anything. You do something, and we call that thing that you do help other people. But when you want to help other people, you're not really identifying the real thing that you want to actually do. And this is why it's not a real thing. For example, fun. And I will end with fun. Fun is a thing that happens after you do something. So for example, for me, playing video games is super fun. But video games is the activity. If I want to say I want to have fun, I'm just saying I want, I don't know, I just want something that will create this feeling in me. I don't know what that thing is, but I want that feeling. I want this abstract thing that I call fun. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It's a very, very important idea. And here he gives the perfect example that kind of consumed our society, which is money. The dollar. Money is the perfect symbol of all such desires, being a mere symbol of real wealth. And to make it one's goal is the most blatant example of confusing measurement with reality. Now, he goes on to explain the money one. I'll just continue reading and we'll get to it. Wait, what? He doesn't explain it in this one? Okay, based on this, we cannot say Watts call ourselves materialistic. We are in love not with things, but measures, not solids, but surfaces. And I'll explain this in a second. And the money one, I think, is super important. It really needs explanation. The reason money is such a dark thing, and I haven't realized how dark it is, and I kind of constantly need to remind myself that this is kind of a very confusing thing. And I'm gonna whip out the whiteboard for that. Let me show you what I'm talking about with this. So the kind of consensus in our culture is that money is the thing to chase. I'm just gonna make like a fake dollar bill. I think actually I need to rotate it, but whatever. Everyone wants this. Everyone is thinking about money. Everyone is like, okay, money is important. We need money, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, what we want is not the money. It is the things that money gives us, which is, I don't know, food. I'm just going to make an apple as a demonstration of food. Or, I don't know, a house, right? Experiences to travel and fly somewhere. That's a plane, not anything else. Those things are the real things that we want. But this is the symbol of those things. And we're chasing this, but in reality, we want these. And this is actually when a lot of people become hippies, when they realize this. They're like, oh, I don't want the money. I don't want to be a part of this society. I don't want to be a part of this whatever. I'm just going to go and, live in the forest. This is literally what I did. Live in the forest, eat whatever gives God gives, and I'm gonna travel the world on foot. And yeah, they kind of abandon the symbol. I do believe that symbols are important. They help us do a lot of things, but when we mistake those two, that's when kind of things get a little bit too gnarly, a little bit too chaotic for us. And yeah, this is Alan Watts. Why modern civilization is a vicious circle. Now, I actually want to talk about Alan Watts a little bit because uh, I'm making a podcast with a friend who doesn't really like Alan Watts because of one thing, that Alan Watts died. Actually, let me flip to just me because I want to mention this a little bit. Because Alan Watts died a drunk, right? He consumed a lot of alcohol. He was too focused on pleasure. He ignored everything, right? Which sucks. But to me, the way I think about Alan Watts is the way I think about a scientist, right? Like a scientist spends his whole life dedicated to one thing, and then he comes back and he gives us this thing. Him making the sacrifice to, um, I don't know, to get this knowledge, I don't think is a good way to judge him by. To say, oh, he made the sacrifice and he became an alcoholic, therefore all of his philosophy, all of his work is irrelevant. I totally disagree with that. I see him like an astronaut who died astronauting. I love the guy. He really helped me with a lot of stuff, and I think if you want to check out one of his books, I would recommend one book that I think is unbelievably important for anyone to read. It's called, so The Wisdom of Insecurity is a really good one, but the other one is called The Way of Zen. Actually, both of them. One is written in 1951. That's the book that we read right now, or like the part that we read. And the other one is written in 1957. And the things that you will read in these books will 100% blow your mind because they're so like real. They're connected to what's happening right now, 100%. I really feel like today's stream was super cool, super cool. Thanks to all the people that joined. Actually, we had quite a lot of people today. 60? Goddamn right. First time I think I had 4. This time 60. I'll take it. On the way up. Much appreciated. It was super fun doing it. I'll probably be doing it tomorrow. I'm doing like this thing where I want to do it almost every day. Just to see how far I can push this and where I can take it. It's been super fun. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow. See ya.